Sam and Jack had been friends since childhood, sharing a love for adventures and exploring abandoned places. One day, they heard about an old, abandoned house on the outskirts of town, rumored to be haunted by evil spirits. They decided to visit the house on a dark night, seeking thrills and scares. When they arrived at the house, they felt an intense chill in the air. Even though it was midsummer, the house was decrepit, with rotting wooden planks and broken windows. They stood in front of the main door, hesitating for a moment before Sam slowly pushed it open. The door creaked ominously, as if expressing pain. They cautiously entered the house, relying on their flashlights. The inside smelled terrible, like mold and dampness. The old furniture was covered in a thick layer of dust, and spider webs were everywhere. As they ventured deeper into the house, they felt like someone was watching them, but they saw no one. Suddenly, they heard faint footsteps coming from the upper floor. They exchanged glances and decided to go upstairs to investigate. The stairs creaked with every step, adding to the eerie atmosphere. When they reached the upper floor, they noticed the doors were wide open, as if an invisible force was inviting them in. They entered one of the rooms, which was completely dark except for a faint light coming from a broken window. In the corner of the room, a rocking chair was moving slowly. Despite the lack of any breeze, Jack cautiously approached the chair and touched its back, causing it to stop abruptly. At that moment, they heard a whisper saying, "Why are you here?" Their bodies shivered with fear, and they decided to leave immediately. As they exited the room, they heard a loud, sinister laugh coming from a nearby room. They decided to enter the second room and found a large cracked mirror. As Sam approached the mirror, he saw a strange face appear behind his reflection, an eerie, pale woman with empty eyes staring at him. He quickly turned around, but no one was there. They decided to go down to the basement. The stairs led to a dark, creepy cellar. The door was heavy and creaked annoyingly. They descended the narrow stairs into the basement, where the darkness grew thicker, and the smell worsened. In the basement, they found an old table covered in dust, with ancient books and strange tools on it. Jack started flipping through the books, discovering they contained spells and mysterious texts about summoning spirits. As he read one of the pages, the words began to glow with a blood-red color, as if the book was alive. Suddenly, their flashlights went out, plunging them into complete darkness. They heard mysterious whispers and the sound of footsteps approaching. Sam tried to turn his flashlight back on, but it was useless. They felt a cold hand touch their necks, and suddenly, the room lit up with a bright red light. Multiple spirits appeared before them, all with distorted faces and empty eyes. The spirits began to move slowly toward them, and they realized there was no escape. Sam remembered the incantations Jack had read in the book and began to recite the mysterious words with a trembling voice. To their surprise, the spirits stopped advancing. As if hesitating, Sam continued reciting the incantations, and the spirits seemed to fade slowly. After minutes that felt like hours, the spirits vanished completely, and darkness returned to the basement. They managed to get their flashlights working again and decided to leave the basement quickly. When they reached the ground floor, the main door was inexplicably open. They fled the house as fast as they could, without looking back. Once they were far enough away, they turned to look at the house and saw the lights gradually going out, returning the place to silence. Neither of them spoke about what happened that night, but from that day on, everyone avoided that abandoned house. They realized that some things in this world should remain undiscovered. When they returned to their town, they decided to keep silent about what they had seen. However, it wasn't that simple. Sam began to have recurrent nightmares about the spirits they had seen, while Jack heard mysterious whispers everywhere he went. Weeks passed, and the nightmares became reality. Sam started seeing spirits appearing in his house, while Jack felt an unseen force following him. They realized they hadn't left the spirits behind. They had followed them. They decided to go back to the abandoned house to try to end this nightmare. This time, they were prepared with more tools and spells. When they entered the house, the atmosphere was colder and darker than they remembered. They went back down to the basement, where they found the same old books. As they tried to read the final incantation to banish the spirits appeared again, angrier and more violent than before. The room began to shake, and objects started flying through the air. With difficulty, they managed to complete the recitation, and when they uttered the final words, a bright light exploded in the room. When the light faded, they found themselves outside the house, which was slowly collapsing behind them. Neither of them spoke of the experience again, but they knew the spirits had been banished for good. However, the sense of dread and fear never fully disappeared. They understood that some forces in this world should never be tampered with. Days went by, and their lives slowly returned to normal. But Sam and Jack never forgot that night. They now had a deep respect for the mysterious forces that might exist in abandoned places. They learned a harsh lesson: not everything is worth exploring, and some doors should remain closed.